So many of us have heard the phrase, time heals all wounds, but that's not completely true. And because of that belief, we expect time to fix a problem that we're not addressing. And over time, we just let it fester and spoil. Welcome back everyone to Yindyang. Today, we're talking about healing, the importance of healing, and how we go about doing it. So let's get started. Time does not heal all wounds, but it does take time to heal. And because of that, we really have to be patient with ourselves. When we go through difficult times, it's easy to kind of suppress what we're going through just so we can move on from our everyday lives. But doing this causes that problem to fester. And when things fester, they begin to spread and they begin to impact different aspects of our lives. So, now imagine you have a rubber band wrapped around your finger. Over time, it starts to hurt, and I start to lose circulation in the tip of my finger. And to solve that problem, I put a Band-Aid over it, and hope it gets better. But that doesn't get to the source of the issue. Then it starts to hurt, so I put some numbing cream on it, but that doesn't get to the root of the issue, and it gets worse. Then I start to feel pain, and it starts to be excruciating, so I take pills to help with it, but that doesn't solve the issue and it still hurts. And then after time of leaving it there, I lose complete feeling in the tip of my finger and I realize I'll have to get it amputated. This rubber band can be applied to so many different aspects and problems with our health that we're not addressing. But today it's going to represent a trauma or problem or relationship in our past or even in our present that we're not addressing. These things can be a toxic relationship, a situation where you felt isolated or alone, a parent that you feel didn't love you the way you needed to be loved. It can represent so many different aspects that we aren't addressing and we aren't healing from. And if we don't address it, I think I'm losing color on my finger. If we don't address it, it's gonna get so much worse. And it's gonna escalate and expand to so many other different health problems. But the first step of healing is addressing you have something you need to heal from. You have to address the issue. You have to address the pain, the hurt, sorrow, or betrayal that caused this rubber band to get wrapped around your finger. Don't keep suppressing it because resistance equals persistence. Sit with it. Sit with those feelings. Feel the feeling, but do not become the emotion. Because long-lasting chronic emotions becomes our personality, and the personality impacts who we are as a person. After you've spent enough time sitting with that feeling, those feelings, the emotions associated with that experience, let it flow and let it go. Don't hold on to it longer than you need to. But when you get to the source of it, addressing it, you know the next step you need to take specifically to move past that so you can keep it in your past. And if those feelings or those thoughts come back, that's okay. Be patient with yourself. But also realize if it came back, you probably didn't get to the source of the issue. You might have removed one piece of the band, but you didn't remove the whole thing. So maybe you just need to dig a little bit deeper, look further back in your past to see what was the source of it all. Not like the source of your birth, but like the source of that situation, that issue. Because it's great you removed one level of the band, but you got it wrapped around your finger a few times. And you're still not getting to the source. You're making great progress because you're addressing what other aspects this band on your life is impacting. But you still haven't gotten to the source yet. So keep digging a little deeper, but please be patient with yourself. Just like growth, healing is non-linear. You're gonna have good days, and you might have bad days, but you can't let either of those stop or halt the process. You have to keep going. Otherwise, it may just get worse. Additionally, if you're going to heal, you also have to keep in mind to remove toxins, because if you don't, it's going to slow down your healing process. And toxins looks like people, toxic people in your life, It looks like the food you put inside of yourself. And that's exactly why I chose to follow up the whole nutrition series with a healing series, because oftentimes our physical well-being will impact our mental and emotional well-being, because food does have an impact on the way we feel. If you don't believe me, I will do a video on that too at some point. But food does impact your mood. Oh yeah, I've said that before. How about that? Food impacts your mood. And secondly, it may be thoughts as well. Toxins also exist as thoughts, which is also why this video has followed one of the first series, which is a self-love series. And self-love is all about keeping track of your thoughts and making sure they're not impacting you negatively. So if you guys need to, go back and take a look at some of the videos from our self-love series and from our little like nutritional food series. I mean veganism, but you know, it's all in there, you know. And of course, be patient with yourself, but take a look at what you have in your life and what you're putting inside of yourself, because your body can only use what it has to heal. Not just down here, but up here and here. Lastly, and I think most importantly, there are some wounds we can't heal from on our own, and those are the ones we have to give to God, regardless of what your faith background is, regardless of what you believe. When we were created, we were gifted with this ability to heal physically, but there are so many things we really don't have control over, and that healing comes from surrendering. There's so much power in surrendering, letting go and accepting that there are things you don't have control over, and giving it to God, because God is the source of life, the source of love. And when we trust in what we're going through is for a purpose, trusting in God's plan, in a way we get a little bit of our power back, because that surrendering grants us the peace and serenity to accept the things that we cannot change. And if it is something that we can change, we pray about it for guidance, because a lot of times there are so many things that are just beyond our comprehension and that we may not be meant to understand, that we're maybe not meant to understand yet. And so pray about it. Let yourself be guided by God and have faith. So if you want to heal, I recommend these 3 things. First, talking it out with somebody. Preferably someone who's older than you, someone who may have possibly been through the same thing. They don't have to have gone through the same thing as you, but a lot of times we want to talk to our girlfriends about it, but they're not always as wise as they maybe need to be for certain situations. So look to someone who's older than you, because they always have slightly better guidance than our girlfriends will, or our guy friends, or whoever you are, you know. Another great tool is prayer. Giving it to God and praying about it, asking for guidance, not leaning on our own understanding, but in trust, and know that God is going to guide you in the way you need to go. And then lastly, I think one of the best tools, other than the prayer of course, is meditation. And I know not all of you know how to meditate, but I will be posting a supplemental video very soon very soon as in like a few days, so keep an eye out, on how to meditate and the benefits of doing it. I recommend mindfulness meditation more than the other ones, just because it helps us. I'll talk about it later, but mindfulness meditation. Thank you all for staying tuned. Before I go, instead of leaving you with a quote, I'm going to leave you all with some food for thought. Firstly, what is a rubber band you have over your life that's keeping you from healing? And secondly, what are the ointments, the medications, and the band-aids you're putting over this problem instead of just removing it? But now, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for staying tuned. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, of course. Leave any comments, questions, or any thoughts or anything you'd like to share in the comment section. Also, I would like to plug my playlist on the channel. It's called Uplifting and Mindful Songs. They're obviously uplifting and mindful songs, if you are that person who heals through songs. Also, I have posted a few poems if you heal in that way as well. And also, I will leave in the comments or description section some really great books to read, or some other poetry books that also help with healing. All right, that's all I have for you guys. Until next week, let's go. Let's go live life.